So bring it on, fresh, fervent, fevered, how it always was and how it always will be. Feel it, this is where it starts. Whatever your ambitions, a good beginning is the perfect way to get things underway. Well, the stage is set for a stirring showdown here. The supporters in great voice, and there's a real sense of anticipation in the air. Game on. And already we're underway here. Out towards the flank.
You have to expect that from everyone now.
And it's Traore. Traore! Oh, that is very close.
Oh, the technical control was exquisite. The pummeled attempt was exasperating.
Engages and forces him off the ball. Jim, who do you pick out as the telling individual today?
Well, Cole Palmer could be standout here, Peter. We sometimes see him in a centre-forward position, but I like to see him play from the right side of attack, because that enables him then to be able to just drift inside on his left foot and then open up the pitch to see what he can deliver from there. And he's expert once he does tuck into those little spaces and pick out whoever's making the runs. And for that reason, I think he could be crucial.
Yeah, I'd have picked him too. No doubt the fans feel much the same way. Now it's Palmer. And this is Owen. Mukiele spots it and intercepts. Granit Xhaka. Threads one in. And no, that was never going to make it. I wonder what you've seen, Jim, over the early moments of the game.
Well, neither side has really grabbed the initiative, I would say. Both must have come in with a view of not making any early mistakes. So we're seeing some conservatism here.
Lefebvre. Granit Xhaka. This looks promising. There's some great running on show here, but ultimately there was no way through. Rice does really well to win the ball there. Still goalless at the moment. Lefebvre. Now this could be a chance. Looking for the run. Isidore showed plenty of zest in getting to the ball, but couldn't quite sort it out. Mukiele. Sunderland upping the intensity here, having lost possession.
Yeah, it's actually very good pressing. They want it back as quickly as they can get it, and they're hunting in packs to do just that.
Good to watch.
It really is. It's rugged and robust, but it still needs plenty of intelligence and teamwork.
Chance here to counter. Dink through. That's really well cleared. Well, that had the makings of something quite promising, but it's fizzled out into nothing. Spread out to the left. Now it's Owen. Now it's Palmer. Approaching the half-hour mark. That is ended up in no man's land. Oh, that's been cut out, well played. Reinildo. Pass somewhat off target. Granit Xhaka. Isidore. Out to the left it goes. Flashes. Oh, smashing header! Harmlessly behind. Now it's Nedved. Mukiele promptly onto that, and that is that. And he cuts out the supply. Trauda. So still we are where we began. It's 0-0. And Reinildo. Trauda. And it's Mukiele. Isidore. Well played, that has snuffed out the danger. And it's Nedved. Great vision. It's a promising position. He's going to have to tune his rangefinder before the next one. Nedved. Back into the middle. Nice interception. His positioning was spot on. Granit Xhaka. Traore. Granit Xhaka. Lefebvre picks it up out wide. And that is going to be the final action of the first half. So neither team were able to take the lead, but it certainly hasn't been for the lack of trying.
I'd like
So
to
your
draw
views
your
on the first
attention to
half?
the screen
Well,
right
simply
now.
put, Peter, they haven't been good enough to trouble the opposition. They need to play with more courage in the second half and a lot more intent.
So both teams still stuck on the starting blocks here, 0-0 at the break. And we're already back up and running after half-time.
El Paso Locomotive really can count themselves lucky not to be behind at half-time. Couldn't really work out what they were trying to do, actually. Letting themselves get dominated like that, it's very confusing.
And the counter is on. And it's Robertson. Nedved. It's a good run down the left-hand side. Cross from Robertson. Pressing high and with purpose. Reinildo. And it's Lefebvre. Now it's Traore. Looking for options for movement. And this is Rooney. And he's cut it out. And he passes it long. Rooney. Nedved. Oh, we're still waiting for a goal to report here. Now it's Traore. Great ball if he can get there. Xhaka was alert to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. It's a pretty loose pass. Mukiele. And Ertrauda. Lefebvre. They're back in possession and ready to go again. So we've reached the hour mark. Isidore. And he's found a way past.
Are certainly playing with an intense focus in executing their plan here.
Nedved. Nice bit of trickery. And he's there to belt it away. So time for change. And this one has been on the cards for a little while.
Yeah, I think he's been told to play that role of the tactical pivot, spraying the ball about sometimes, driving it forward from the middle of the park.
Number 12.
And he's forced to go back.
Number 21.
Very few chances to talk of, Jim. Defence is, it seems, on top here.
Well, I think it's a fair reflection on what we've seen so far. Neither side has produced that many efforts at goal simply because respective defences have been strong.
Granit Xhaka. Now it's Traore. Traore. He's had a fair tumble under that challenge. Well, that is good. Super running, sharp movement. Came up against a defender, though, who was ever so determined. Oh, well played, well sorted out. Played into space. That has not gone well. And that's put paid to a promising move. And it's Xhaka. And here's Xhaka. And this is Owen. Excellent challenge there, uncompromising. That has been cut short. Now it's Traoré. Lovely pass, but... And he shoots! No mistake! Finally the breakthrough!
What a time to take the lead, but now comes the dilemma of whether you ought to hold on or go for it again and try and extend your advantage. That's always been the harder option, in my experience.
There was no getting to that. No getting to it at all. Expertly done.
Just way too good, Peter. The keeper was never going to stop it.
A 1-0 lead established.
Well, it's better late than never, Peter, and that's potentially decisive now.
Well, that's a foul. Free kick's been given.
Substitution in progress.
Aim forwards. That's an imaginative pass.
I think the message here is quite clear, Peter. They want another one and will seemingly keep going until they get it.
It is looking like the end. If anything's going to happen, it's got to happen now.
Yeah, they're really playing in hope at this point, but hope is something you can always cling to.
Mukiele. Not too much more here than seeing out time, and time is very nearly seen out.
If they're good enough to keep the ball at this stage, it should see them through.
That's a risky ball, you've got to say. Gets good distance on it. And that is as far as they're going to go. Opts for safety.
2 added minutes has been indicated.
Mukiele. Getrauda. And Reinildo. 2 minutes to be added on. Tries to pass it through. He's on it. Can he get away? And he was alert to it. And that is that. Quite a game, and one that was always on a knife edge until the very final whistle. No shortage of endeavour, effort, at times effervescence, but just